Don't limit your understanding of objects, the world, or existence in general by giving it a label. Now, what do I mean by this? So, if you give something a label, that essentially means you're assigning a word to it. By doing this, not only do you limit your understanding of the object, but you also limit what the object is to you and how much you can understand the object. So, for example, say you choose a flower and you give it the label flower, and that to you can mean whatever it wants. You can assign all kinds of different words to what flower means, aka petals, blooming, beautiful, all this kind of stuff, which is all still bound by the words. And you can't describe an object fully using words. You reduce it immediately, because our English language, or whatever language it is you speak, cannot encompass the natural world. We have different labels and words and sounds. Words are just sounds. They're just scribbles on a page. They're our way of communicating, and yes, they do a fantastic job. But you cannot expect it to describe exactly what it is that you're trying to describe, because it's simply a word pointing to the object. It's not the object itself. You say the word flower, and it's not a flower. You hold up a flower, that's a flower. It has immense depth and different ways of expressing itself as an object. You can't just give it a label and assume that that is going to describe that object. Similarly, this happens with existence itself, behaviors, people. You can describe different people in different ways using these words, but it in no way captures the depth of that person. So what I'm trying to say here is, don't be limited by the labels that you give things. It's dangerous, because if you label something, then you confine it in your head to mean only that, and that the object is only the label. So for example, if I have a finger, a better example, say, okay, take my phone. You think phone, it does what a phone does. It calls people, texts people, emails people if you've got a smartphone, for example. But it can also scratch my back. You know, if I have an itch, I can use it to scratch. I can throw it, it's a ball. Do you see what I'm saying? That's not the best example, it's just what I had to hand, but what I'm talking about here is not limiting yourself and the object, not discrediting the object as something that it could be, and your understanding of it by giving it the label that you think it should have, or that someone else has told you it has. Because this immediately boxes in any imaginative thoughts and feelings you can have towards certain objects. And when it comes to perceiving things as they are, rather than through the filter of your brain and the different web of beliefs that you have, then it's important to disregard labels, break them down, and almost remove them. It's definitely useful. I'm not saying labels aren't useful so that we can just tell people what we're talking about, but try your best not to allow that to encompass and reduce the object that you're talking about. Understand things for what they are, not what we call them.